Simon Called Peter by Robert Keable. Read by Peter Joyce. Disc 1. London lay as if washed with watercolour that Sunday morning. Light blue sky and pale dancing sunlight wooing the begrimed stones of Westminster like a young girl with an old lover. The empty streets, clean swept, were bathed in the light, and appeared to be transformed from the streets of weekday life. Yet the half of Londoners lay late abed, perhaps because 6 mornings a week of reality made them care little for one of magic. Peter, nevertheless, saw little of this beauty. He walked swiftly, as always, and he looked about him, but he noticed none of these things. True, a fluttering sheet of newspaper headlines impaled on the railings at St. Margaret's held him for a second, but that was because its message was the one that rang continually in his head, and had nothing at all to do with the beauty of things that he passed by. He was a perfectly dressed young man, in a frock-coat and silk hat of the London clergyman, and he was on his way to preach at St. John's at the morning service. Walking always helped him to prepare his sermons, and this sermon would ordinarily have struck him as one well worth preparing. The pulpit of St. John's marked a rung up in the ladder for him. That great fashionable church of mid-Victorian faith and manners held a congregation on Sunday mornings for which the rector catered with care. It said a good deal for Peter that he had been invited to preach. He ought to have had his determined scheme plain before him, and a few sentences, carefully polished, at hand for the beginning and the end. He could trust himself in the middle, and was perfectly conscious of that. He frankly liked preaching, liked it not merely as an actor loves to sway his audience, but liked it because he always knew what to say, and was really keen that people should see his argument. And yet this morning, when he should have been prepared for the best he could do, he was not prepared at all. Strictly, that is not quite true, for he had a text, and the text absolutely focused his thought. But it was too big for him. Like some, at least in England that day, he was conscious of staring down a lane of tragedy that appalled him. Fragments and sentences came and went in his head. He groped for words, mentally, as...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?